P Diddy faces serious legal charges. P Diddy, you can call him Puff Daddy or Sean Combs. These are three different ways to say his name. Faces, so the synonyms for faces are deals with, battles, fights against, has, confronts, endures, or is hit with. Serious. Serious, the synonyms are major, huge, grave. And remember, if something is serious, it's like very, very big. The antonyms are minor, trivial, and insignificant. Legal. So legal is about the law. Like in many countries, it is legal to drink beer. So legal, you can say lawful, which means you can do it. Now, I wrote criminal and illicit as synonyms, but they both have asterisks here because you can't always use them as synonyms for legal. In this sentence, we can because we are talking about legal charges. But if I say beer is legal in America, I can't say beer is criminal. But when we're talking about charges, you can say criminal or illicit charges, okay? Now, the antonym for legal is illegal. The last word, charges. In pink, I wrote sentencing and conviction because these are words I want you to think of. If he is sentenced or convicted, he will go to jail for a long time. Now, the synonyms are indictments and punishment. The antonyms for charges are exoneration, which means they remove all the charges, acquittal, and dismissal. And don't forget, there is a PDF in the description. Okay, let's read. Sean P. Diddy Combs is facing mounting legal troubles following his arrest in September 2024. Prosecutors have accused him of using his business empire for sex trafficking and racketeering, alleging he transported individuals across state lines for illegal activities. He has pleaded not guilty and remains in custody while awaiting trial in May 2025. If convicted, he could face a life sentence. Let's come back. So Sean P. Diddy Combs, now you can see this is all in green because we already talked about it here. There are three ways to say his name. Sean P. Diddy Combs, Puff Daddy, Sean Combs, all the same, is facing. Now facing is another one we already had. Up here we had faces. So if I want to use the synonyms, I would have to say dealing with, battling, fighting against, having, confronting, enduring, or I could say Sean P. Diddy Combs is being hit with, mounting. So mounting means that something is getting bigger and bigger. The synonyms are growing, blooming, flowering, escalating, or increasing. The antonyms, you can see here, are diminishing. Like when you get older, maybe you start losing your hair, it will diminish. You can say declining, lessening, or decreasing. Legal and legal, we already had this too, right? Lawful. Troubles, problems, or issues. Following. Now let's look at following here first. The synonyms are ensuing and after. The antonyms are before or preceding. His arrest. So his arrest was his capture or apprehension. The antonym is release, but I don't think they will let him go. But I did something special here. I underlined this because I want to reword it. Let's start from here. Sean P. Diddy Combs is facing mounting legal troubles after he was arrested in September 2024. Or we can say after police arrested him in September 2024. One more. After being taken into police custody in September 2024. So I try to reword the sentences to give you more than one way to say something. And then you can learn faster. It's like you're reading 4 stories at one time, right? Prosecutors, so let's come down here. Prosecutors are lawyers or defendants, okay? These are like the people who will help you in court. Have accused him of. Now let's look at accused him of. Charged him with, or we can say claimed he was, asserted he was, or alleged he was. Using, so just for the word using, you can say utilizing, employing, or making use of. His business or company empire. An empire is for an emperor. A kingdom is for a king. because he has a huge business, and they said he used his business for sex trafficking. Let's talk about that first, and then I will explain more. So sex trafficking, it means forced prostitution, which means you have sex and you don't really want to. Sex exploitation, or we can say human trafficking for sexual purposes, which means he was basically buying and selling people. They said he was using his company to do this, so maybe he walked up to women or men and he told them, hey, if you do what I tell you, maybe you can be rich like me someday. So he convinced them. I say convinced, but more like forced, because as you will read in this story, a lot of them were underage. They were not 18 yet. Okay? So trafficking and racketeering. Racketeering, the easiest way to understand this word is crime. But you can say organized crime, because a lot of people work together, or illegal activities. Alleging, so let's look at alleging. You can say claiming, asserting, or saying. These are all synonyms. But I wrote a little note here in pink for you. Allege, this word, it means you say something without proof or evidence. The police cannot just allege you did a crime. They need to prove it. They need to have evidence before they put you in jail. Now, P Diddy is in jail right now, which means the government must have something substantial on him. They must have some kind of proof. They don't just put you in jail for fun, okay? So, alleging he transported. Now, just this word transported, we can say took, smuggled, that's when you secretly take something, like drugs, shipped or transferred. But I reworded this here. We can change alleging he transported into accusing him of transporting individuals. So individuals, we can say people or victims. Victims are people that bad things have happened to. So it's a perfect word here. Across state lines or state boundaries. This I also reworded. He transported individuals to different states. If you take somebody to a different state in America, and remember, we have 50 states in America, you will get in even more trouble if you move somebody across state lines, because different states give you different charges for your crimes, okay? So that's also important to the story. So for illegal activities or crimes, because they don't say what the crimes are. He has pleaded not guilty. Now, just this part here, he has pleaded not guilty. He has said that he isn't guilty. He has maintained his innocence, or he has said that he is innocent. Now, innocent is the adjective, okay? Innocence is the noun. Guilty is the adjective, okay? Guilt is the noun, but we don't need to use that here. And remains, is still, or continues to be in custody. That means the police have him. So custody, the synonyms are detention, jail, or prison, while awaiting or waiting for trial. So trial is when you go to court. I wrote his court case, his hearing, or legal proceedings in May 2025. So in a few months here, he will go to court for all of this. If convicted, so convicted, if sentenced, or if found guilty, if proven guilty, or if charged with the crimes that they have said he has done. Now, the antonyms of convicted here would be exonerated, acquitted, dismissed, freed, released, or cleared of his crimes. I don't think he will be cleared of his crimes. There is a video of him beating up one of his ex-girlfriends in a hotel. So I think a lot of people already feel he is guilty. Now, that's not related to the crimes in this story, but I think he's in big trouble. If convicted, he could face a life sentence. So this word face here, he could serve, get, or be punished with a life sentence. But I reworded this here. If convicted, he could be in jail for life or be in prison for life. You can say go to jail for life or go to prison for life. We can also say, if convicted, he could be sentenced to life or be imprisoned for life. This is why I like to reword the sentences, because you have to say sentenced to, but you can't say imprisoned to life. You have to say imprisoned for. So these are things to watch for in these articles we will read. The arrest is just one part of a growing scandal. Over the past year, Combs has been hit with more than 24 civil lawsuits. Cassie Ventura, his former girlfriend, accused him of years of abuse and sex trafficking before reaching a settlement. Anna Kane, the ex-wife of an NHL player, sued him for alleged gang rape when she was 17. Another lawsuit claims Combs drugged and raped a 17-year-old boy at a New York nightclub in 2012. Other accusations include drugging and assaulting a man in 2022 and abusing minors as young as 10. Combs' legal team has denied the allegations, calling them attempts to destroy his reputation. Let's come back. The arrest is just or merely one part. So there are many parts to this case, many parts to his charges. Part, you can say, component or element of a growing. Now remember, growing we had earlier, right? They wrote mounting and we said growing. So you can see they are reusing a lot of the synonyms and antonyms in the stories that we read. So growing scandal. A scandal is like a secret or a controversy. I wrote controversy here. Like if the president has 3 secret girlfriends, Donald Trump is the president now. If he had 3 secret girlfriends, that would be like a big scandal, okay? Something that you shouldn't be doing, something illegal normally. Over, throughout, or during the past year, Combs has been hit with. So, been hit with, these 3 words here, we can say Combs has received, Combs has gotten. You have to use gotten here because we have has. The past participle of get, got, gotten, you have to use gotten here. Or he has been served with or has been struck by more than or over 24. So 24, you can write it this way, 24. I spell 24. Or you can just put the number 24 because a dozen is 12. So 24 is 24. Civil or private lawsuits. So lawsuits, the synonym is legal cases, but in pink I wrote the word sue here. That's a verb. If somebody sues you, they take you to court for money. And that's what a lot of people are doing now. Cassie Ventura, his former girlfriend. So former means ex-girlfriend or prior girlfriend. The antonyms would be current or present. Okay? Girlfriend accused him of years of abuse and sex trafficking. So this word abuse, I just gave you examples first. Punching, hitting, attacking, or screaming. Screaming at her. These could all be examples of abuse. But the synonyms are assault and mistreatment. So he was very bad to her, according to her, because there is not any proof for this. So Cassie Ventura, his former girlfriend. Now, this is underlined because I reworded it. Let's read from here. His former girlfriend said he abused and exploited her. But you can see I wrote some synonyms inside this as well. Said he abused or mistreated and exploited or took advantage of or trafficked her. Okay? You can use all of these. Said he abused and trafficked her. Said he mistreated and took advantage of her. Okay? Or we can say his former girlfriend said she was abused and exploited by him, or said she was abused and taken advantage of by him. Now here you had took advantage of, and here you had taken. You have to use the past participle of take here. Take, took, taken, because you have the be verb was. She was taken advantage of by him. Okay? That's why you have to use that. Before reaching, coming to or negotiating. So they worked together. Their lawyers got together and they said, hey, we will agree on a number and then I won't take you to court. Because if he went to court, he would probably get in more trouble. So he had to pay her. He had to come to a settlement with her. So settlement, you can say agreement, deal, or payout because she sued him. Anna Kane, the ex, see now they have ex, here they had former. You can see a lot of the synonyms, right? The ex-wife or spouse of an NHL player, and NHL stands for National Hockey League player, sued him. So sued him, we can say filed a lawsuit against him or took him to court for alleged. So alleged is they say it, but maybe you don't know if it's true. Remember, I wrote a note about this word earlier, right? Allege, say something without proof or evidence. We are seeing these words many, many times, but here it's an adjective. For alleged gang or group rape. So rape. This means sexual assault or non-consensual sex, which means you don't agree to it. And you can't really agree to it when you're underage. I think he was like 10 or 15 years older than her. So she sued him for alleged gang rape. That means like many people had sex with her when she was 17. Another or a different lawsuit claims Combs drugged or gave drugs to and raped. So now rape is a verb here. Here it was a noun. We can say sexually assaulted or we can say had sex with. But in parentheses, I wrote non-consensual. You could put that in the sentence too. I could say had non-consensual sex with a 17-year-old boy. Now, they use the word boy here, but because he's 17, I can say teen or teenager. At a New York nightclub or dance club in 2012. So this is not looking good for P Diddy. Other accusations. So now this is a noun. Accusations, we can say allegations or claims, because a lot of people are saying he did these things to them. Include. So when they use the word include here, we can say were of or were related to drugging. Or I could say other accusations involve drugging. This word include is not always used the same way though. If you buy a phone, it will include the headphones and maybe a charger so you can charge the battery. That's a different way to use it. That's why I wanted to write these here. Other accusations include drugging and assaulting. So assaulting, attacking, battering, that should have two T's, beating or fighting with a man in 2022, and abusing, so abusing could be hurting or attacking minors. Minors are people who are not 18 yet, so I wrote underage people. As young, the antonym is old, as 10. So as young as 10 years old, people are claiming they were attacked by him at 10 years old. This does not look good for him. Combs' legal team, so your legal team, that's the lawyers or the attorneys who represent you. So these are perfect synonyms. Combs lawyers, Combs attorneys. We can say legal counsel or we can say defense team. Has denied. So if you deny something, you say it is not true. You say no to it. The antonym of denied would be admitted to. So his team has denied the allegations. Or we can say Combs' legal team has stated or said that he didn't do these things. He is not responsible for these allegations that they say against him. Calling them, now remember, them is the allegations. We can say saying they are, attempts or tries to destroy. So destroy here, you can say hurt, damage, or harm. The antonyms of destroy are repair, fix, restore, or rehabilitate. His reputation. So your reputation is what people think of you. Michael Jordan has a great reputation, right? He won 6 championships in the NBA, and you never really hear anything bad about him. But if you look at Michael Jackson, or you look at Kobe Bryant, many bad things were said about Michael Jackson and Kobe Bryant, so their reputation is not the same. So reputation, the synonyms are image, standing, or credibility. Now, I reworded this, so let's come over here. Calling them attempts to turn public opinion against him. They think that people are saying these things about him to get everyone to hate him. And then when he goes to court, he will be found guilty and he'll have to go to jail for life. Or we can say, calling them attempts to get people to dislike him, which I don't think you really have to try hard to do. It looks very bad for him. He's not 100% guilty yet, but hey, he is in jail right now. Let's continue. Combs has worked with some of the biggest names in music, including Justin Bieber and Jennifer Lopez. Lopez, who was in a high-profile relationship with him in the late 90s, has not commented, while Bieber, who collaborated with him early in his career, has remained silent. As the accusations continue to surface, former associates are distancing themselves from the controversy. Let's come back here. Combs has worked or collaborated, and this is cool here because down here they use collaborated again, so you can see it just means worked. Combs has collaborated with some of the biggest. So biggest, it doesn't mean largest or hugest here or most massive. It means most iconic, most renowned, or most well-known. And the antonyms would be least, because the opposite of most is least iconic, least renowned, or least well-known. Names in music. And when they say music, they mean the music industry. If you come down to the end of the story, you can see they used it again, right? So, including like or such as Justin Bieber and Jennifer Lopez. If you come to the picture, you can see Jennifer Lopez here, Justin Bieber here. They were very close with P Diddy. Lopez, who was in a high profile. So if something is high profile, it's prominent, it's famous, it's well known. Those are all the synonyms. Everybody knew they dated in the early 2000s. So Lopez, who, you can see I reworded this, famously dated him in the late 90s, or Lopez, who was once romantically involved with him in the late 90s. So late, the antonym is early. If you say late 90s, that means like 1995 or 1996, maybe 1998. They just said late here. Early 90s would be like 1991 or 1992. You will see this in a lot of stories when they write early or late and then the year. Has not commented. She hasn't said anything. So she has not given a comment. And because I have has here, you have to use given. Give, gave, given. She has not given a comment. She has not said anything about his situation, so his problems, or she has not addressed the allegations. I don't think she wants to talk about it. Would you, if you found out your ex-boyfriend was doing things with 10-year-old people, boys and girls? I don't think you would want to talk about it. While or whereas Bieber, who collaborated or worked with him early in his career. So career, I don't really have synonyms for it, but these are words you can think of. Job, profession, occupation, and vocation. Your career is what you do for money, how you make your living. So with him early in his career, or who collaborated with him when his career was just beginning, or we can say Bieber, who collaborated with him, remember him is P Diddy, at the start of his career, has remained silent, or has not said anything. One more, has kept quiet. Justin Bieber doesn't want to talk. As, since, or because the accusations continue to surface or come out, former associates, so associates are people you work with, I wrote co-workers, are distancing themselves from the controversy or the scandal. But let's come back here because I reworded it. You can see as the accusations continue to surface, I reworded it here. And this should be a big S, okay? Okay. Since accusers keep coming forward with new accusations, former associates are distancing themselves from the controversy. So this part here we can reword. As new accusers continue to step forward, or we can say, with new accusations surfacing regularly. Former, and remember, former are the people who worked with him before, prior, okay? Associates are distancing themselves from. Now, I reworded this a lot of ways. You can say, are staying away from the controversy. You can say, are keeping themselves out of the controversy. Are keeping their distance from. You can say, are avoiding, are steering clear of the controversy. And last one, I can say former associates are cutting ties with him over, because of, or due to the controversy. People don't want to be associated with him anymore because of all the things they are hearing about him. You know, like Jennifer Lopez. She probably doesn't want to say anything because of all the 17-year-olds and 10-year-olds involved in this. She probably wants to wait to find out if he is innocent or guilty, which I guess we will find out in May, right? Let's read the last paragraph. With prosecutors hinting at additional charges, the case threatens to permanently damage Combs' career and legacy. His trial is set for May 2025, and the outcome could have lasting effects on both his reputation and the music industry. With prosecutors, so prosecutors are lawyers and attorneys. But here I wrote state lawyers and state attorneys. State means government, because the government is trying to put him in jail. Hinting at, we can say suggesting or alluding to, but you can reword this. With prosecutors saying there could be additional, so additional means more or extra charges, because more people are coming out every day and saying these terrible things P. Diddy did to them. The case threatens to, you could say could permanently damage, right? Because if I use could or might, these are helping verbs, and then damage is your verb. Permanently is an adverb here. Threatens to, we could also say has the potential to permanently. The antonym is temporarily. Permanently means that something will happen for a long time. Temporary means a short time, okay? So permanently damage Combs' career and legacy. Remember, legacy is what people think of you. Michael Jackson does not have a good legacy now because of what a lot of young boys said he did to them. So legacy, you can say impact, influence, or effect on the music industry, because people will not think the same of P. Diddy anymore. His trial or court date is set or scheduled for May 2025, and the outcome. So outcome, the synonyms are verdict, results, judgment with an E, or you can write judgment without an E. These are both okay to spell them this way. Could have lasting. So lasting, you can say permanent or enduring. Remember, permanent means forever. The antonym is temporary. Now, effects, you can say impact, aftermath, fallout. Now, these all have asterisks because I would say them without S. I would say, and the outcome could have a lasting impact, or a lasting aftermath, or a lasting fallout. The other synonyms that you can just plug into the sentence, though, are consequences, ramifications, or repercussions. On both his reputation, remember, that's what people think of you, and the music industry. So, it doesn't look good for him, but I guess we will find out in May if he is guilty or not. Thank you for reading with me.